All right, folks, Samori Benjamin here with Houston Astros first-year first base coach Dave Clark, and also a a fellow HBCU alum, went to Jackson State here. Mr. Clark, very nice meeting you. And,
likewise.
I know you are from Mississippi and you were raised there, so how did you first come up getting into baseball?
Oh my God, it was through my family. I grew up on a farm. I had 9 brothers and 6 sisters, and that's all we did. If we weren't working, doing our chores around the house or feeding animals, we were playing baseball or football or basketball, whatever was in season, that's what we were doing. So that's how we kept ourselves busy and kept us out of trouble.
Wow, so that's cool. So you all had enough to fill the whole baseball team and have the bench.
Exactly, right?
And with the boys, you had a full 9 right there.
Yes, indeed.
That's amazing. So, and that must have been a lot of great times growing up and playing baseball. I mean, so who are some of the ball players you remember that inspired you coming up as a kid?
Well, when I came up, I was a big fan of Reggie Jackson. I was a big fan of Dave Parker and Willie Stargell. They all were left-handed hitters like myself, and I did whatever I could to emulate those guys. And I watched them carefully, picked up a few things from them. I got a chance to play against Dave on the latter part of his career, and I also got a chance to play against Reggie the latter part of his career. So That was pretty special.
Yes. And so 9 boys, and you are the one who made it to the major leagues, and that's amazing. So. An amazing story. So, amongst your siblings, which other ones were closest to you in talent?
Well, I had a brother Lewis. I still have a brother Lewis. Lewis played in the NFL for 7 years with the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. Okay. He currently is a senior personnel director with the LA Chargers. So he was 2 years younger than I was. So we got a chance to play high school ball together. Little league ball, baseball together, basketball, football. We did everything together. So he was my guy. I was hoping to be an inspiration to him, but he inspired me more than anything else.
That's great. Now, Mississippi, I'm sure when you were coming up, there were a lot of Afro-American kids who were into baseball and playing baseball. So, Jess, what was it like just playing baseball in the community in Mississippi just growing up?
It was awesome. We played a lot of semi-pro baseball where we traveled on and played on the weekends against older guys, and I think that's really what made me a pretty good ball player, because I was always playing against guys that were a lot older than I was, and they taught me how to play the game. But it was always baseball going on. It was always something going on, and you saw a lot of people that looked like myself that was playing, and it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. And I know the NBA was not as popular at that time, and the NFL was there. I'm sure you were a football fan in NBA. How much of a fan were you of those two leagues?
Oh my God, I grew up a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. The days of the Iron Kurt, the Mean Joe Green, the Terry Bradshaw, I can name all those guys, Lance Swann, Dwight White, all those guys. The guy, there was an HBCU, I can't think of his name right now. He played wide receiver alongside Lance Swann at that time.
Stallworth.
Yeah, that's right, Stallworth.
Yeah.
John Stallworth. He was an HBCU guy. And so was Mean Joe Green. I think he was somewhere out of Texas, North Texas, something like that. So, I was interested in Pittsburgh Steelers. And basketball, we didn't watch a whole lot of basketball, but football was there. I did like Dr. J and I like Kareem, but it was more so baseball than anything else.
Right, okay, now, and a legend who was from, of course, so you ended up going to college at Jackson State, and that, of course, is where Walter Payton went to school and all that. So, Walter Payton, he's from Mississippi, right?
Yes, he's
okay. Right. So, was before you even went to Jackson State, how visible was he to you just growing up?
Walter was he was the guy. Everybody loved Sweetness. When he got drafted out of Jackson State and went to the Chicago Bears, we followed him. We followed Gale Sayers before Walter, but when Walter got there, it was amazing. Tell you a quick story. I was playing in Chicago in 1990, and Walter threw out the first pitch, and I was the recipient of. I was lucky enough to be the guy who catched the pitch for him, and I have a picture of myself and Walter there. 2 former Jacksonians, he's throwing out the first pitch, and I got a chance to catch it. So I got a chance to talk to him, and we was able to share some stories.
That's amazing. That's amazing right there. Now, how did you end up deciding to go to Jackson State to play and go to school?
Well, it I was blessed, to be honest with you, because I was headed to the Marines. I didn't get a college scholarship coming out of high school, and I knew my parents couldn't afford to. Heck, I'm the middle child of a family of 15, and they really couldn't afford to send me to school. Now, going on a scholarship was a different story. So I finished my high school, my senior year, and didn't have a scholarship, and so I getting ready to go to the Marines, and it just so happened that the coach from Jackson State heard of me, got a chance to come and watch me play, and gave me a scholarship on the spot.
Wow, it's amazing how things work in life. Just chance like that, boom, the whole future changes, and just like that, you end up having a whole life in professional baseball. So now Jackson State, HBCU, what was it like playing baseball at that time at HBCU?
Well, I chose Jackson State. I wanted to go to Jackson State, and I was fortunate enough to get there, with a coach, Robert Brady, who had one of the nicest programs in that conference, the Southwest Athletic Conference. We call it the SWAC, of course. He had quite a few guys had left there and gone on to play professional baseball. I think the first guy to go to the big league was Kevin Moore, and then after him, I think was Orkan Boyd. I got a chance to play against Orkan, Curtis Ford, Marvin Freeman, Wes Chamberlain. I could just keep naming them. We ended up having, I think in 1990, I think we had 5-6 guys from Jackson State that was in the big leagues.
Wow.
And that's something a lot of people don't know or don't talk about, but we talk about it a lot down in Jackson.
And I believe you won the MVP of your Jackson State team in back-to-back years in 82 and 83. So just, what was that like? And I'm sure you did a lot of damage in the SWAC.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun, and the good thing about it is that our coach got us that exposure of playing a lot of other big schools like the Mississippi State, the Ole Miss, the LSU, University of Alabama, Auburn, Florida State. So we got a chance to play against some top-notch schools in the country, and I think that was really, really what helped got me drafted, because we played against better competition. And then I spent the summer of after my sophomore year in Peoria, Illinois, in the CICL League, Summer League, and that was very instrumental in my professional career.
Okay, and then in '83 you get drafted in the first round by Cleveland, and so what was that like for you to drafted first round by the Cleveland, right? At a college at that point?
Well, it was. I tell you what, man, it's just God works in mysterious ways. I've always said that, and I've been blessed. I never thought a guy who wasn't drafted out of high school would be able to get drafted and go in the first round, being the 11th pick in the nation. And so I count my blessings. And when they drafted me, I knew they was going to put me on the fast track. So I was in the big leagues. I was drafted in '83. I was in the big leagues in '86, and stayed there for a long time.
Okay, now coming up with Cleveland, you played with Joe Carter, right?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay, so what was that like, getting a chance to play with Joe in Cleveland?
Well, it was great. Joe was our leader. I played with Andre Thornton. Mel Hall was on that team, and quite a few other guys, the Brett Butlers, and heck, I even played with Steve Carter. He was on that, and Bill Necro. They were on that team when I got there. So I was blessed to play with some really good guys that really taught me how to play the game and do it and go about my business the right way.
Yeah, Mel Hall, myself, growing up here as a Yankee fan, I was definitely a fan of his when he was playing for the Yankees. Yeah, he played with you definitely, and
yes.
And so I know you played as well for Pittsburgh. You played with Barry Bonds for a little bit, right?
Yes, I did.
What was that experience like playing? That time Barry Bonds did any events like Jim Leland. You all were a very good team. What was that experience like?
Well, it was really awesome. Getting a chance to play for a legendary manager like Jim Leland was, just icing on the cake in my career. As a matter of fact, my 5 years in Pittsburgh is really what turned my career around. He gave me a chance to play more than anybody else had given me. And of course, I had to do my job once I got an opportunity to take advantage of it, and that's what I did. And playing alongside Barry it was just fun to watch that guy play every day. I mean, I haven't seen anything like it.
Were you part of the postseason roster in '92?
Yes, I was.
And you all had classic series against Atlanta.
Yeah.
And that was a tough series, I'm sure. And the beautiful thing about that period is there were so many African American players playing for both teams, and a lot of players. And what do you remember though? Just I know that series did not go your way, but what do you remember about that?
Man, it was exciting. Just to be on that ball club was exciting, and be in that atmosphere. The Braves had been our Achilles heel for a long time. I think they knocked us out back-to-back years there in Pittsburgh. But it was fun. They had a good ball club. We had a really good ball club, but they ended up taking it from us.
Mm-hmm. Now, you played with the Cubs, you played with Kansas City, and played with George Brett and Ryan Sandberg and all that. And who would you say is the most talented player that you had the chance to play with?
Well, if I had to say the most talented was probably Barry. Next to him was probably Andre Dawson. You cannot count out Sean Dawson. I mean, I just love the way that guy played the game of baseball.
Yeah.
But Ryan Sandberg was that quiet leader. He was very consistent his whole career. Didn't say a whole lot, but he got it done. And it was fun to be a teammate of his.
Yeah, Sean Dunston from New York. He was the first overall pick in the early 80s, one of those drafts.
Yeah, 1982.
Right before you, okay. Mm-hmm. Nice. Now you got into coaching. So I know that you spent some time in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. I believe that's where you first began your coaching. So how was that experience for you? How did you first get into it, and how was that first experience?
It was kind of funny because I really didn't know what I was going to do when I got out of the game as far as a player. And I had enrolled back in school. I was only like 36 hours away from getting my degree, so I wanted to make sure I got my degree. And during that time I was off, I got a phone call from the general manager of the Pirates, and he said he had a job for me. And I'm like, then it was in Cam Bonifant. I'm like, Cam, I don't want to play no more. He was like, well, I didn't call you to play. I have a spot for you on the coaching staff somewhere if you want to get into coaching. And I said, well, you know what? It's something I had considered, but give me a little time to think about it. And he said something to me that has always stuck out of my mind. He said, out of sight is out of mind. You stay away from the game too long, people are going to forget about you. So that kind of triggered me into getting back into the game of baseball. So I did that for a couple of years, and I ended up back in the big leagues as a coach.
Right, okay. And I know you had a chance to manage the minor leagues too, I believe, early on. Mm-hmm. So how was that experience for you to be able to become a manager so early?
It was awesome, and I love developing players. I was making sure that these guys were prepared to go to the next level, whether it was the AA or AAA or to the big leagues. And that's what that was all about. It wasn't all about trying to win ball games down. It was making sure that these guys learn how to play the game the right way, so that when they do get the call up, they're here. We didn't miss anything, and they could come up and contribute to and help a big league ball club win.
Right, cool. And then I know you ended up getting going with the Astros organization, and then in 2009 you become part of the coaching staff. Mm-hmm. You even actually end up becoming interim manager for about a week or so towards the end of that season, and then you are on the coaching staff, I believe, until 2013.
Correct.
And how was that for you? Your first time just being a part of a Major League coaching staff?
Well, as a matter of fact, that was my second tenure. I had been a hitting coach in Pittsburgh for 2 years, 2001 and 2002.
Oh, really?
And then I went and spent 6 years in the minor league because I wanted to manage. I just got the bug, and so I went ahead and managed 2 years at the Pirates, and then the Astros called and wanted to, see if I would want to take a job at the AA level, and I did. Yeah. So we opened up Corpus Christi there in 2005. We won a championship in 2006. I was there for 3 years at AA, 1 year in AAA in 2008, got called up to the big leagues with them. And then the next year they made a move at the big league level, and I became the big league third base coach under Cecil Cooper. And that was a really, really beautiful experience. I mean, I got a chance to see how fast the game actually is being a third base coach. And you get a chance to manage the field while you're out there. So I really, really enjoyed it. And it's just unfortunately that Cecil lost his job that year. Unfortunate for me, we had 13 games left, that they named me the interim manager, so I got a chance to do that, and I loved it. And I was hoping that I had an opportunity to get that job, but it went to Brad Mills, and I got a chance to stay on Brad Mills' staff for 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now Bo Porter was there too at some point, right?
Yeah, he was there in 2013.
Right, so okay, so you were there with him for that 1 year?
Yes.
Okay, Cecil Cooper is interesting because when he was the manager, I remember interviewing him back then when he was the manager of the team. So yeah, I've been doing this since that long. Yeah, okay. And then so you end up, I know you go to Detroit.
Yes.
You were with Detroit for a while.
Yes.
Part of their coaching staff. So how was that experience?
That was great. Brad Osnes, who's the bench coach here with the Yankees, got the job there, and he called me and asked me would I like to be a third base coach. And I said, of course. So I was with him for 5 years, and then I think it was 2017 he got let go, and Ron Gardenhire took over as the manager, and he kept me on the staff. So I was there with him for 3 years. So I had like 8, 9 good years there in Detroit, and we struggled. We had a good team the first couple of years, and then we kind of struggled when we went through a rebuild. But anytime you go into a rebuild, you hope that in a couple of years afterwards, you start to see the fruits of your labor, and that's what it looked like it started to happen there in Detroit.
Yeah, and right, you said 01 and 02 at Pittsburgh, so you were part of Lord McClendon's.
Yes,
staff,
I was. Lord
right?
McClendon.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now, okay, just 2 more for you. So now you're here with Houston, your first year here, and what's it been like to be a part of the Astros organization? Well, you've been
coming back
again.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I mean, I was away from the game for 3 years after the COVID year. Last year, I managed an independent ball at Idaho Falls, Idaho, and it was a little slower pace. But getting back here and seeing how much things have changed, and so I had to get myself on the fast track to get acquainted, and acclimated to everything that's going on. So right now, I think I'm there. But it's been good. This is a really good ball club who's been struggling a little bit as of late. But I really truly believe that we're going to turn this thing around.
Okay, last one for you. You had the opportunity to manage in the minors, and it's something myself just doing reporting on Afro-American ball players and managers. Not been a lot of Afro-American managers. I did this count myself. There's been like less than 20 Afro-American managers in the history of Major League Baseball. So, and you're someone who would be perfect to manage one of these teams. So much experience. That's something that you ever think about. And what do you think you could bring to a Major League team as a manager?
I don't really. I mean, if I was given the opportunity, of course. I mean, I'm not out there trying to pursue a job like that. I mean, right now, I'm happy where I am. If the opportunity presented itself, of course, I would entertain it. Would I love to? Of course. But the fact of the matter is, I'm happy where I am right now, where my feet are. I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. And hopefully, if something does come up and someone wants to give me an interview, I'd be more than happy to take it.
And last one, who is the most talented ball player that you had the chance to coach as a coach?
Wow.
Or you know what? Just give me your top 3.
Oh, God. As a coach. In the minor leagues or the big leagues?
It could be either one.
Oh, my. I saw Miguel Cabrera for 5, 6, 7 years, and he's probably the best right-handed hitter I've ever seen. I saw Justin Verlander, for about 5 years, and, a future Hall of Famer. So that's 2 there in Detroit. And as far as coaching, Hunter Pence is probably one of the guys that stands out to me as a manager when I was managing with the Astros in the minor leagues. I just love the way the kid went about his business, the way he played the game. He played the game the old school way, the way it's supposed to be played. Ran out every ground ball, was on top of everything that was happening in the game, and he went on and had a really good career.
Wow, that's a big endorsement. Hunter Pence making your top 3. That's incredible. And actually, incidentally, a guy who was traded for Hunter Pence in a trade early in his career, John Singleton. I just interviewed him a minute ago.
That's right.
All right, so Mr. Clark, thank you so much, folks. A fellow HBCU alum like myself. You're not going to Norfolk State. He was not that lucky, but Jackson State, definitely doing their thing. Dave Clark, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Have a good one,
All
okay?
right, take care.
All right, folks, we're back.